What's going on? This is your man Jose, aka the Dominican Dream, alongside
It's your boy, the Maniac.
for the boxing roundtable, and we are ready to talk boxing. It's been a couple weeks since we did a video, Sean, but we gotta cook because there's too much going on in boxing. Real quick, rapid fire. We late to the game, we late to it, but we still gotta mention what happened this weekend. Edgar Berlanga gets demolished by Hamzi Sheeraz. Well, let's start with the Heat, man. I know people asked me, they wanted to hear our reaction. What's your reaction? People want to hear your reaction to Edgar Berlanga getting knocked out the way he did.
Nah, I mean, look, it was, look, stylistically, like, let's be clear here. I had it a 50-50 fight. I did pick Berlanga to win via decision just based on how Hamza looked in his last fight. I said if he's going to be timid and let his hands go, then that's going to favor Berlanga. But I know he was tall, lanky. Before the Adames fight, that was the Shiraz I was accustomed to seeing. Hence why I picked him to beat Adames. But at the end of the day, it wasn't rocket science, man. Hamza, he being the more active fighter, the more polished fighter. And in fact, him going up to 168 proved to be stronger at 160. Was he having trouble making weight at 160 for the Adames fight? Possibly. I'm not going to say that was the issue because I don't know. But what I do know, he looks very healthy at 168. And he was able to just get inside in Berlanga, who lacks a lot of defense, who lacks footwork, just a very strong kid who was just able to get a big fight against Canelo because of his mouth and very good matchmaking on top of that. So he was beating mediocre competition and people were eating it up. Oh my God, this guy. And he's talking his way in. So people, you add those two things and forget it. People think you got to star. But you have mentioned something in the past. One thing about Turkey, not only he's giving guys this money, but he's gonna match you in there tough. And you're just getting exposed. And Berlanga was exposed. It wasn't he showed, don't get me wrong, early he showed a decent jab. I said, okay, this jab might help him. But again, the lack of skill, right? His lack of technicality caused them. Because yeah, you throw the jab, but you got to throw it with something. You got to move around. You fighting a taller fighter. You got to head to head. Can't come in this straight line. And Hamza exploited all his flaws, man. And once he dropped him the first time, there was no coming back from that. He got dropped twice in the fourth, and within the first 30 seconds of the fifth, it was over. They stopped the fight. Listen, I'm gonna say this real quick. As far as Balanga, because I hear, oh, y'all hating on him. Nah, bro, it's not hate. First of all, I like Berlanga. He's a New York Rican, similar to me. I respect him coming from the mud and getting it. I respect that. But we're not talking about that. We're just talking about in the ring. And at the same time, what really bothers me is that he is a good dude. I've met Berlanga numerous times. Humble dude, show love to the people. But he's putting on this villain role for what? And then he's talking like he has done something in the sport of boxing when he has not done anything in the sport of boxing to talk the way he talks. And this is why he's getting cooked on the internet, deservedly so. Don't be mad because you got a personal relationship with him and you cool with him. Nah, bro, call it like it is. Say, yo, listen, that's my man. He got cooked. And us fans looking from the outside, that's why it's like, that's what you get. I don't like loudmouths. Doesn't matter if it's Puerto Rican, black, Asian, doesn't matter. He got humble. I'm not saying that it's good for him. I'm not saying I wanted that to happen. What I'm saying is that humbleness, toma. There you go. You that dude, right? You that man? No, you not. Look in the mirror, homie, and ask yourself, do I really want to do this or I don't?
Listen, man, beautifully put, beautifully, beautifully put. I'll give my take. I have some differences in opinion. Edgar Berlanga, this is the bottom line, man. The gig is up. The gig is up. The gimmick is over. I told you, I've been telling you for a while. Maniac. Edgar Berlanga is not a boxer. He's not a fighter. He's he's the street dude who's out here trying to get money. He's in love with money, with jewelry, with the hip hop rapper type lifestyle. He's not focused on boxing. He's not focused on the craft of boxing. He's not out here having 4 fights a year trying to get better. He's out here trying to chase the biggest bags possible. If those fights are convenient, he thinks he's done something in the sport by going 12 rounds with Canelo. Um, he's not a good fighter. He's not a good fighter. Um, Strong, anybody can be strong. You know what I'm saying? The mailman could be strong, right? The dude that work, security at H&M could be strong. That doesn't mean you're a boxer. Doesn't mean you're a fighter. You understand? Edgar Berlanga, the writing was on the wall for a long time. If you didn't see it, you don't know boxing. You are a hype gobbler. You simply look at social media and you look at what other people say about fighters and so-called experts and people that work for the networks that are paid by the networks to say certain things and to fight and to hype fighters up in order for you to buy the next fight. Fuck that. Watch boxing. Watch what they do inside those ropes. Do they have a jab? Do they have footwork? Do they have head movement? Do they have speed? Do they have power? Can they take a punch? Who have they fought? When did they fight them? How good was the how good was the quality of competition? How did they do when they fought them? How did they do when they went up and yeah, people don't watch that when it comes to boxing anymore. They simply rely on the opinion of others to make their predictions and to have their opinions on a certain fighter. That's why with me, I may get criticized and people may get mad a lot because it may sound like I'm hating on a particular fighter. No, is that I never jumped on the bandwagon. I never gobbled the hype. I told you what it was from the rip. So, I said it on here on the show, I believe as well. Edgar Berlanga is not a boxer. He's not in this for the purpose of competing. He's in here. He's in this to get money, and he got it. Will he get another crack at another payday? I think so. I think he'll get one more. But depending on how he does there, it's a wrap. And you know what? It might be a wrap right now. You know, um, because there is a lot of people that dislike him. I don't like him or dislike him. I don't care for him because he's not a top fighter. Not he's not an elite fighter. Not a top fighter. He's not probably barely not even a middle of the pack fighter. He's a real lower tier fighter who happened to get knock out 15 cab drivers on ESPN. Uh, have a relationship with Fat Joe. Fat Joe projected him. Boom, Puerto Rican American from Brooklyn, right? Great sell, sold tickets, and unfortunately, in boxing, just like in music today, and another and a lot of other avenues, it's no longer about quality, about talent, but it's about how do you sell, right? And I don't watch boxing for that, you know. Albeit there is one character too that I may be likable that you want to see just what happens is the Rolly Romero. He's another guy who, like you said, like you say, lacks a lot of skill. You even called him a bump, but let's keep it honest. He's a little more serious about boxing than Berlanga is, right? So he's funny. He doesn't really rub people the wrong way. He's the character, and the one thing about him, yeah, he might lose, but he also might knock your block off. So that's that. Edgar Berlanga, I think that, like I said, as far as you saying it's just good for him and bad for him, I think it's good for him because this now he'll lose the fans, now he'll lose the money, now he'll lose the popularity, now he might lose that chick that was walking with him. Um, so now he's going to have to ask himself that question that you mentioned: am I real? Do I really want this? Am I a real fighter, or am I gonna take these chips, and put up a couple stores in Brooklyn and invest in the stock market and call it a day, right? So right now, a real fighter is defined by how he comes back from something like this, and if he doesn't, we'll know that he wasn't a real fighter. We'll know that he had a great ride and he made some money, and hopefully for his sake he invested it. Anyway, that's that.